There's no contract you'd recognize, no official letterhead, no government seal. Somewhere in a processing camp on the outskirts of Rostov-on-Don, a man slides a single piece of paper across a folding table and tells you to sign. He doesn't explain what happens if you break the terms. He doesn't need to. The men standing behind him explain it well enough. You sign, and just like that, you belong to an army that doesn't officially exist. You are a recruit now. The lowest breath in the lungs of the Wagner Group. You're not a soldier in any legal sense. No Geneva protections apply to you. No embassy will claim you. Your name has already been replaced by a call sign, and if your family asks questions, they'll be told you took a private security job abroad. That's the last clean lie anyone will tell about you. Training happens fast and without patience. Former Russian Special Forces operatives run the camps, and they are not interested in building you up. They are interested in filtering you out. The men around you are a strange mix. Ex-military, criminals offered pardons, drifters with nothing behind them and nothing ahead. Nobody asks where you came from. The only direction that matters here is forward. You survive the initial weeks. You learn to move at night, to dig positions in frozen ground, to follow orders that arrive without context. And then you're deployed. Not under a Russian flag. Not under any flag. You land in a place, Syria, Libya, the Central African Republic, maybe Eastern Ukraine, and you're told only what your unit needs to do in the next 12 hours. Strategy is above you. Reason is above you. You exist at the level of function. This is where the first rank really begins. You're a foot soldier in a private war. The pay is better than anything you earned before, but it arrives inconsistently. The food is poor. The equipment is functional, but not generous. You sleep in rotations, and the man on watch is the only thing between you and a threat that could come from any direction, including behind you. Because in Wagner, discipline is not maintained through courts-martial. It's maintained through fear. You've already heard the stories. A man in your unit tells you about a deserter from a previous rotation. He made it 30 kilometers before they found him. No one saw him again. No one asked. You do what you're told. You do it well. And slowly, you're elevated. Not with ceremony. Someone simply starts giving you more information, more authority over a handful of men, more weight. You're a squad-level leader now, and the difference is that when something goes wrong, it's your name attached to the failure. The reward for competence here is not comfort. It's responsibility with sharper consequences. At this level, you begin to understand the architecture. Wagner doesn't operate like a traditional military, it operates like a franchise of violence. Contracts are secured at the top, often through relationships with governments desperate for deniability, and the profits flow upward while the risk flows down. You are the bottom of that gravity. The countries you operate in don't officially acknowledge your presence. The country you came from doesn't officially acknowledge your existence. You are a ghost with a rifle, and the only proof you were ever here is the impact you leave behind. Move higher, and the world changes again. Mid-level command means you're now managing logistics, coordinating between units, interfacing with local militias or government contacts who pretend you're something other than what you are. You attend meetings in unmarked buildings. You handle payments in currencies that can't be traced. You begin to see how the money works. Mining concessions, oil access, political influence sold at a premium. Wagner is not just a military instrument. It's a business model built on instability, and you are now part of the management layer. But the higher you go, the more you know. And the more you know, the less freedom you have. This is the paradox no one explained at that folding table in Rostov. Every promotion is another lock on the door. You now carry information that certain people in Moscow would find inconvenient if it surfaced. Your silence is no longer a preference. It's a requirement enforced by implication. You've seen what happens to people who become inconvenient. They don't get fired. They don't get sued. They get erased. Quietly, efficiently, without a single headline. At the top, there is no glory. There are only arrangements. The senior commanders operate in a space between military strategy and political negotiation. They sit across from African heads of state, Syrian generals, Kremlin intermediaries. They deliver results that no official army can be seen delivering, and in return, they are protected, but only as long as they remain useful. The moment the political winds shift, the moment an operation becomes a liability, the protection evaporates like it was never there. You've watched it happen. Commanders who once moved armies reduced to silence, hiding in countries that don't ask questions. And somewhere, right now, another man is sitting at a folding table. He's reading a piece of paper he barely understands. He's looking at the money being offered and thinking about the debt behind him, the future he doesn't have, the chance this represents. He doesn't know what you know. He doesn't know that the hierarchy he's about to enter has no exit written into its design. He signs. And the machine adds another name to a list that no government will ever officially read. That's the truth of Wagner. It's not an army. It's a system, one that feeds on the men who enter it, rewards them just enough to keep them climbing, and punishes them permanently for trying to stop. You don't leave the Wagner Group. You either rise until your usefulness expires, or you disappear into the same silence you once enforced on others.